That looks nice. How'd you do that?
Oh, I just did the thing.
What thing?
The thing the guy in the video did.
You just put that right there and then this goes right here. So you don't really know what you did?
No. Yep.
All right, we're back. If you're following the channel the way you should, you'll know that we finished up the swap on our 1974 C20. I've been putting a few miles on it. I've learned a few things. It goes a lot faster, so I need to do something about the brakes. And dealing with her sharing a pickup is not a great idea.
That's right. We're definitely in need of a spare vehicle, and this Dodge Dart, if you've been around for a while, you've probably seen it before. The only thing that's holding this car back from being back on the road is the brakes.
Yeah, it's a really nice car. We're going to take this opportunity to do brakes on it, and I'm going to try to share with you all the brake knowledge that I have doing this, okay?
Okay.
All right. I know you're used to seeing a Chevy truck sitting right here, but it's not. We're going to do the brakes on this 73 Dart. Brake systems are basically all the same, even when you get into ABS. The ABS system's entirely separate from them. When something goes wrong with the ABS system, it just reverts back to doing what a 1973 Dart does or a normal brake system does, okay? And we'll get into that a little bit, but we're going to do the front brakes on this thing. The front brakes are actually locked up on the left side, so I'm going to delve into that. I'm going to try and give you 35 years of brake knowledge. I'm going to ask Emily a bunch of questions and see if I can trip her.
Oh, no.
But let's get into that. The first thing I got to do is take the wheels off the front of this thing, all right?
Okay. Don't scratch them.
Oh, these are like hand tight. Did you put those on there?
Probably.
Fancy nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, no. All right, so this is what happens to a car that's been sitting for 20 years. These are just rusted. And this one's locked up, and it might just be because of the rust, but probably not. I'm going to guess that maybe the calipers got a little bit of problems because I have driven this car a little bit. But we're going to tear everything off of this, and we're going to replace the calipers. We're going to replace the hoses. The rotors, maybe. I don't know if we'll replace those or not. I bet you we'll end up replacing them. We'll have to mic them and see if they're any good still. We're even going to pack some bearings the way bearings should be packed. And replace the seals, and we're going to make the front brakes on this thing sweet.
Ooh.
It'll be a stopping machine. I screwed up and I didn't order the parts fast enough, so I have to wait tomorrow to get the calipers from O'Reilly's, but it just took a day to get them.
Yeah,
so
it's a holiday weekend. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. It is a holiday. So I can't complain all that much for one day on a 1973 vehicle for brake calipers. So
yeah, it was probably the only order for 1973 Dodge Dart calipers they had that day.
Absolutely. So I just noticed something that is kind of interesting, I think, on this. This car fell into a shop like what I was in when I was young, when I was in my 20s. Mm-hmm. I noticed that its backing plate is bent right there.
Oh, no.
All right. And what we would have to do is we had to do free brake inspections on cars. And the first thing we did is whip the wheels off of them, and we would mic the brake rudders. And they wouldn't let you take the time to pull the caliper off or anything like that. So they would take and put a pry bar right there and just bend the backing plate out. And then you could take your micrometer, which this is kind of a brake micrometer, but you could stick your mic in there then and be able to read your micrometer, because you had to read it, while it was pinching against the rotor or down in one of its giant grooves that it would have from the rivets digging into it. So I already measured this one, and when I said we may, or whether or not we were going to use this one, I know we're not going to use it. I'm kind of a jokester. The thing is way too rusty, and I would never do that. But it measures 9.94 or 935. And the minimum thickness on this one, it's stamped on these rotors, is a 0.940. Okay, so it's already 10 thousandths below its minimum thickness. So if I was back in the shop, back however many years ago that was, the managers be scurrying around because they knew that they were going to make their quota that day and sell this person some rotors. And then on top of that, it's locked up. So we know we're going to sell calipers on the thing and probably brake hoses too. That's the way they did things, and I'm going to complain a bunch, and I'm going to tell you what it was like. And it is still like that today in a lot of places. So, but what I would do now is, I know we're not going to use that rotor. We will, talking about its thickness also, that doesn't account for its run out. So even if this thing say it had 10 thousandths still that was above its minimum, I could go and chuck it up on the brake lathe, which we're going to do just to show how that's done. And you could maybe have another, 5-10 thousandths of run out in it. So you're going to have to cut all that out of it. So the chances of them being good, this rotor probably started out as a 1-inch rotor, and it only had 60 thousandths of it that could have gone and been cut off of it and worn off. And the chance of reusing them today with the modern stuff is pretty slim also. So let's get to figuring out why the front brakes are locked up on it. And I'd normally just cut the hose, and I'm going to replace it. It doesn't look bad, but it's, however, how old is this car? It's a 73?
Yeah, 15.
So it's 10 years old.
Yeah.
And these hoses need to get replaced just because they're that old. So I'm just going to use a hose pincher and pinch it off for now, so I don't make a giant mess and I don't end up having all the brake fluid drip out onto the floor and then have a tough time bleeding its brakes. So I'll just disconnect the line, go into the caliper. So there's that connection. In the event that it was the brake hose that was making this thing lock up, then this thing would spin freely now, okay? Which it don't. So no surprise, everything here is just rusted up. So we'll take the caliper off. And this was actually a pretty good brake system. When we got to work on these, nobody really complained about them. They were pretty trouble free. So we know it was the caliper that's holding that on. I'm just going to push the piston back a little bit. The way these are designed, they just slide back and forth on that. I guess I don't know what you'd call it, but they just slide back and forth, and I can't see that thing really rusting up that bad. So I'm going to try to push the piston back a little and then see if it's, yeah, all right. So the caliper's trash.
Okay.
Right? And see, so that thing just slips right off. So it wasn't the hardware that was holding it tight. It was just that the piston wasn't releasing in there. And this thing, it has steel pistons. So just for fun, we're going to take and I'll blast it out and show you how we would go about taking this caliper apart. Oh, okay. It's fun. It's super dangerous. So.
Ooh, neat.
All right. So back in the day, we used to rebuild these a bunch. Actually, like brake parts and that were a lot more expensive back then. The car would be worth $15 and it would be $600 worth of brakes that you would need.
Yeah.
So we would end up rebuilding these a lot just because it saved people money, and parts just weren't as accessible as what they were. So you put some rags in there, something to cushion it, and then you take some air pressure, and you very carefully, whatever a person does, I don't even recommend anybody doing it unless you know what you're doing.
You have a helmet on?
Yeah. Yeah, eye protection would be a good idea. See, it's slowly coming out a little. Okay. So that went pretty well, but they, like when I did this in school, they were real cautious about it because some of them would blast out and fly off into the room, you know.
You probably don't want your fingers in there when you do that.
No. So this is a steel piston. That's the way they were back in the 70s before the plastic stuff came out. So this is what's happened. It just starts getting rusty, and that's why it was stuck in its bore and applying the brake. And then they did come out with plastic pistons to take care of that problem, but people didn't like plastic pistons for I don't know what reasons really. They worked fine. They still use them today. And they're fine. But if we were rebuilding this thing, if you were lucky, you had a piston that wasn't rusted out, and you just cleaned it up. We'd go in here with a hone if we had to, and get all the rust out of it, and then pull the seal out of it. So that's all there was to it, to a rebuild kit. And then you'd get the hardware and put it back together. And then in order to put it back together, that was even more fun. What you would do is once it was all cleaned up, put your seal back in its groove. So it's going to hold it like that. There's no way to get, how are you going to get that piston in there and then get the seal in there? You know, you'd have to have some kind of a tool that would hold it open so you could get your lip seal or your seal around there. So this is what you would do. This is probably why my fingers look like they do. Okay?
Yeah.
So you're going to take and kind of do the opposite. We'll see if I can do it. I haven't done it in 20 years. I almost got it. It popped the seal out. And if it was all cleaned up nicely, the seal fits in there tighter.
Yeah.
It doesn't do that, but I'm just trying to do this just for fun.
Yeah. Fun with calipers.
Just like that.
Boom.
Okay. So you got your seal. The seal's not in there now, but and then you also they had some. They still have it now, but a certain assembly lube for it that would. It works good with brake fluid. So, because you wouldn't want to do it with anything that was a petroleum product, you know. And then, okay. But if that piston wasn't so rusty, it would go in there.
Rusty.
Oh well.
Okay.
Okay, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
If everything was clean and nice, the seal was in there, you push it together, and you got yourself a new caliper. And then we'd, take a wire brush to the outside of it and clean them all up. Also, we'd make sure the bleeder screw would come out first before we did that. But that's how we rebuilt them. And I suppose that's how they're rebuilt today. I don't know. I would hope that they have a machine to do that, but well.
I'm sure. A special tool you can buy.
A robot.
Robot.
All right, fun with old junk.
Yay.
And like I said, that's 1973. Exact same today.
Yeah.
The hardware's different. How the caliper is mounted onto each different system, but most times it's just 2 bolts or 2 pins or however they're held on. And then this proves it too. This thing those are pretty much brand new brake pads.
Yeah.
And this car has, 80,000 miles on it? Somewhere around there. So there's no way this car went 80,000 miles with original pads in it. So then at that point, when we could spin the rotors, then we'd spin the rotors and listen for the bearings. And then we would just hope that the bearings were bad, of course. So that way we wouldn't have to clean the old ones.
Just slap new ones in it.
Yeah, so we get new ones. All we'd have to do is pack them. And we did have a packing machine, so we didn't have to pack them by hand. Oh, I forgot that I ground that down just so I could get the dust cap on it. Because those wheels, the covers on those wheels.
Oh, that's why it doesn't have a dust cap thing on it.
Yeah, because I'm going to take more of it off once I get the brakes done. And then I'm going to tap the cap flat.
Oh, yeah.
So
make it fit.
So it'll fit. So.
All for the sake of having cool wheels, man.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so get that bearing off. Go like that. So there's your outer bearing, your outer washer. And then what is different about stuff today is you don't have bearings. You got sealed bearings, so you've got a top hat rotors that don't have a hub, don't have bearings, so you don't have to deal with that stuff. It's so much nicer now. I can do a whole brake job and not get greasy, you know.
Yeah.
To get the outer seal off, I would just go like this. I'd put the nut back on it and just slide it off the end with some force. Okay. There's your inner bearing. We'll reuse all that grease.
Yeah?
Oh, I'll put that in your underwear drawer.
Oh, cool, thanks.
So, and I know I'm not going to use that bearing, so I'm just going to chuck it, okay? So I don't have to touch it again. There it goes. And the same thing with this one. We're done with that.
It is handy to keep them until you know for sure that your new bearings are right, because the old ones should have a number stamped on them.
Oh, yeah.
So, like...
Yeah, those bearings, I think they're A2s and A18s. They're so common that I'm not worried about them not being right. So,
yeah.
Sorry, should we chuck up a rotor on the brake load and show how that's done?
Yeah. Okay,
we'll just do that for fun. We'll see we know how thin it is, but we'll see how warped it is.
Sweet.
Okay. All right, a brake lathe. I haven't run this thing in a year or so. There it is. All right. So if you did have a rotor that was somewhat thick, you could machine it. And they do this at O'Reilly's. It's one of the services they do. So if you don't want to replace brake rotors, as long as they're thick enough, by the time you're done, then you can machine them.
Put a little necklace on.
Well, my rubber band's looking terrible. So this is a little anti-vibration band, and it's one of the styles of them. I think it's the one that works the best. This is the same thing too. It does the same thing.
These little thingies right on it.
Yeah, of course you gotta move them and mount them up. So say we did have a rotor that was thick. Say it measured an inch or just under an inch, and we knew we had some material that we could cut and take off of it. This is how it would be done. I'm going to take and draw my cutting bit down to where it just touches, and you'll hear it. Come on. See it? Same thing on this side. Right there. So it's not, you hear it just touching every once in a while. Okay, so it has, that's how much run out it has, and how much it has.
How not flat it is, basically.
Yeah. So what I can do, each one of my little turns of my knob here is 1,000ths. And I started from 0. I'm gonna take 1,000ths off each side. It automatically draws it out. It's hard to see on this one because of how rusty it is or what it's cutting. So that was the first cut. That was 2 10,000ths that we took off, or 2,000ths that we took off. So it's already at 932, 933. We started at 935. I'm gonna take 2 thousandths off this time on this cut.
Pause. Here you can see more of it. Definitely rusty.
Rusty? It actually looks better than what I thought it would after taking that much off of it. Like if it had been thick, it may have possibly been savable, you know. But, so I think people get the idea of it. And then, so what I would do then is, you know, we did the math. I know how thin it is now. It's way thin. 919.
919.
Okay. That's way out on the end. 919, where it's still pretty nasty. So at that point, say it was okay and it did clean up after having all that run out in it, you would do a slow cut on it. And that would be its finished cut.
So you take a little less material and run it slower, and it gives it a better finish that way.
Yeah. Yep. It'll put a nice smooth finish on it. When you're done doing that, we'd take emery cloth to it and take a little bit of the direction out of the cut on it, smooth it off a little bit more. So, you can kind of see if I let it go all the way, it would have put a nice smooth cut on it and machined it up okay. Now, there are some rotors that have gotten so hot, or they're just made, some foreign cars, I think they're out of the box, or put on the car, they're too hard of a metal to machine. Mm-hmm. So if you ever take your rotor to somebody and you get it back and it has like a really rough finish on it when you get it back, chances are it's not anything that they did. The thing is just too hard of metal, and these things just get a vibration in them and they can't cut them smooth, and which means you should have just bought new rotors.
Yeah, that's where you can kind of tell by the color when they get hot.
Some of them look brand new, and you'll take them and try to cut them, and they won't cut just because of what the metal is. They're that hard, or they're that metallurgy. Okay. So a lot of times you just end up replacing them. Say like in this one, if I could have cut this one and been finished and had it end up being like 0.950, then I would go with it. I'd be okay. But I probably would never have gone right down to the minimum and thought I was going to use it. Because what's going to happen is it's just going to get hot. Your brakes are going to warp, and you'll be doing your brakes again pretty soon. So good job, brake lathe.
Yeah.
We'll see you again next year.
Poor brake lathe. Fun with brake lathes.
They are fun.
Yeah. I'm curious how many, because so many rotors just get replaced now, how many people have actually run a brake lathe?
Oh, probably quite a few.
Yeah.
I would imagine. So let's get back to it, okay?
Okay.
So, same thing with the seal. We're done with it. It's pretty old, solid, no good anymore. Let's get rid of some of the grease. Use my old rags or my old gloves just to save me from having to destroy more rags. Stick. Okay. The only thing we got to do now is the brake hose. And the problem with doing the brake hose is when I remove the brake hose, all the fluid is going to want to just continue to drip out of the line from the master cylinder. And you don't want to do that. You want to keep that thing full of fluid, because the minute that master cylinder drops past the lines of that, you're going to have to bleed the whole brake system. And we already did that on this when we got this car. It's got new brake fluid in it, because I would normally be doing the master cylinder first, but I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that yet. So I'm doing this. It does work. The power brake booster works sometimes, and then sometimes it don't. So we're going to have to fix that also. So I want to mess with that later. So today I don't want the brake fluid to drain out of this car. And I have to take the time to do the brake line, but I know it's going to be a rusty mess to do it. And I don't want to break the brake line.
Yes.
So how am I going to do that?
Giant snubbers on your bumper almost hit that.
Pretty good judgment on that one, wasn't it? Huh?
Jerry hates those, but I think they're cool.
So, a master cylinder, a brake master cylinder has a piston in it, or has two pistons in it actually. And what it does is it pushes out, displaces that fluid, creates pressure that ends up down there. But it passes past something called a replenishing port. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to push the brakes down about half the brake pedal, and I'll know that it's past the replenishing port. So when it's past the replenishing port, fluid cannot drain out of it.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's how most of my brakes that I work with that I got to bleed, that's what I do with them. And like I said, it's all the same. I just take something, a stick, a long stick. Go ahead and undo my brake bleeder, or my pincher. And that way I can do it without the power brake booster. Is it undone?
Yep.
All right. So I push the brake pedal down about half the way. And I just have that in there. You could use a broom handle or whatever. I actually usually use I have a tool to do that. It's from my alignment machine, but a lot of people don't have an alignment machine. And that's how I do it. So now you'll see it's dripping now, but it'll quit.
It's like putting your thumb over a straw, kind of.
All right, so by doing that, I got the brake fluid, so it's not dripping out on me. It's not going to empty the master cylinder. I could do that I could have everything off of this and have it sitting there with all the lines off of it and not have that problem.
Sweet.
And it still works today.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's not always a good idea to put a brake pincher on your brake lines.
No, I only like to pinch them when I'm going to replace them. All right, so I know this line is going to be rusted together pretty good. You can see how nasty it is. So this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to pull its retainer out, set it over there because I'm going to need it again, and then could use a wrench on that, but I'm just going to use vice grips because that's what I end up with half the time.
I think you're skipping the most important step here.
WD-40?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know. I'm not WD-40 in it for a reason, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to see if it breaks loose from the line, and it does.
Holy smokes.
Okay? And instead of trying to twist it, the fitting on the line, I'm going to pull it down enough. I'm going to pull it down enough out of its fitting that I can just twist the hose out. So, I'm going to just, and this works on pretty much all of them, okay? Mm-hmm. I mean, I've had to do that hundreds of times. So, there you go. And if I hadn't done the trick with holding the brake pedal down, this thing would just be dripping. And the problem with that is brake fluid is flammable. And I know for a fact that thing is not going to, it's not going to turn. It's rusted in there, like we said. It's at least 10 years old. It's not going to turn, all right?
Yeah.
And I do not want to replace that brake line because it actually doesn't look like the brake line's in that bad a shape. So we're going to not replace it, okay? And I'm going to show you how.
Okay. Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, no. About the only way to do it is using some heat. I don't know, like if a person didn't have a torch, I don't know if a butane one would do this or not, or in the way it is right now, a person maybe could take and WD-40 it, let it sit a little bit, and let that soak or whatever. But I just use a torch. Like I said, I think everybody should own a torch.
It's pretty handy. It's a good thing to learn.
Oh yeah, you can do it, a ton of stuff with it. All right, so like I said, we've got the brake fluid, so it's not dripping out of it. So I'm gonna just add some water to everything up there right now, so there's nothing that can burn too much. And if I didn't have that brake fluid shut off on this thing, it would be flaming out of there pretty good. Brake fluid burns like crazy. Okay?
You see it a little bit there?
Yep. Come on.
It's a fun little game.
Okay, so I heated up cherry red. I let it sit a little bit. I don't mess with it when it's cherry red. I let it the expansion of the two metals just do their thing, and then I hit it, and there it goes. It's freed up. So instead of screwing up that brake line and having to redo that thing, we just saved it. So and I cool everything down a little bit, because I'm sure I'll touch it or something at some point. Or if I don't want to walk away from it and have it fire up again. And so I want to know that it's nice and cool, come back and the whole car's not on fire.
Yeah, that's what you want, not on fire.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Let me put this up.
We do use that one more than once a year, though.
What, the torch?
Uh-huh.
Oh, the torch is used all the time.
Not the brake lathe, but the torch.
It's my favorite. Oh, I ran over the pig.
Oh, no. Juice. You're a pig.
Stupid pig. All right, so we have we've got our brake line okay, ready to go with a brand new one on it. All we got to do now is clean this stuff up, get it ready to go back together. And that's the other thing too, like, this stuff is really flammable, so, I mean, I would never have done that if it was still warm.
Yeah.
You know? All right, I just need some parts now.
Okay. Hey, can you scoot over? Can you scoot over, please? Ooh, we could get you some fancy brake cleaner. Oh my goodness.
4th of July.
'Tis the season. Would you tell everybody I said hi? Sorry I couldn't make it in today.
Told them.
I know they missed me.
All right, let's put this baby back together, okay?
Okay.
All right, we'll start off by putting a brake rotor on it. Brand spanking new.
So shiny.
I'm gonna clean this off just a little bit, get some of the grease off of it, and then we are going to pack some wheel bearings.
That sounds like fun.
Oh, I could have done that after we put it on, but I'm gonna have to handle it a bunch, so I don't like getting my fingers greasy.
Oh, yeah.
And that leads me into the next problem of packing wheel bearings.
Yeah, how are you going to do that and not get greasy?
Well, I'm gonna have you do it,
Oh,
okay?
I'm glad I asked.
Yeah. This rotor, because it's got a hub, it comes with the inner race already in it, so you don't have to mess with that. We've shown you doing replacing the races, haven't we? I'm pretty sure we did. But that's the inner race. We don't need it, but it comes with the new bearing. You can buy just that, but it's actually cheaper to just buy a bearing and a race.
Yeah.
So then I got a spare one. You can make that into a bracelet or something.
Ooh, good idea.
So we need to pack this bearing, and Emily is going to show you the proper way to pack a wheel bearing.
Okay.
All right? All right, so the object of packing a wheel bearing for real is to get all that grease inside the bearing race, okay?
Okay.
So how you do it is a little bit of grease in your hand, and you start smushing it in.
Kind of show, smooshing it down up between the rollers.
Yep. And you keep doing it until you start seeing grease come out between the cage and the race.
You can start to see it come through there. A couple more. There, you can see it in between there.
Yeah.
So then go to a new spot.
I just use a little bit at a time. That way I know as it disappears that it's actually going in there. Because if you start off with a giant glob of it, then you have no clue how much is actually in the bearing. So,
Make a lot less of a mess this way too.
yeah.
Maybe not a lot less, but less.
You have some editing to do on this one. It's time consuming to do it like that. I can see why people give up and just smear grease all over it, but that's kind of risky when you're going to throw that thing in. And you want the bearings to start off their life with having some grease on the inside of the cage of it. So
Yeah, I guess if you just smear it on the outside, you're just relying on heat to make it liquidy enough to run through there, but it's not good.
which is what you don't really want. You don't want it to get that hot. See, yours does look so much nicer than mine, that's for sure.
Yeah, but you finished 2 of them, 3 of them in the time I did 1. So there you go. Grease all the way through, coming out the top. So that's what you want.
So our bearings are packed. I have friends that have said, sit around and talk about how nice their wives are. I said, has she ever packed a bearing?
That's right.
Yeah, and they almost always say no, and I say I'd either get rid of her or seek counseling. So let's put the bearing in the rotor. So now is where I'm gonna do it kind of messy. I'm gonna make sure the race has got a little bit of grease on it. Not a ton. You don't need a ton in there. There we got a bearing that's packed. And now we got to put our seal on. And this seal has got a lip on it. I don't have a seal installer that is that size. It goes around that. So I'm going to tap it in gently with a punch. Get it started a little first.
Did you look at all the races we had?
Oh yeah, I'm sure I've got a race that would fit it. Most people don't though, so once I get it started, it'll be fine. Make sure it's sitting flat. There's a little. Nice and straight. Give it a little bit of grease. And I'm going to go to the spindle. And I just greased that because otherwise it stays dry and it gets rusty. That's just a film of grease on it just to keep it from rusting. Take the nut. Put the nut on there just to keep it from falling off for a second. Then the outer bearing, I'm going to give it a little grease like I did the other one. Not a ton. Outer bearing. Find my washer. Where's it at? So, my washer on. Greased you, didn't I? My nut on there. Okay, so bearing preload. I'm gonna turn the nut to where I feel it stop. It's a definite stop. You don't crank on it. You just turn it to where it stops. And then I know my cotter key is right in the groove there. So I'm gonna see where it lands. This thing's got a bunch of choices, but I'm just gonna turn it off about a quarter of a turn, just so it's not so tight. And there's my, I don't know what that thing would be called. It's like a castellated nut to keep that thing in place.
Very fancy.
Yeah. And then on this one, I'm going to fold it over this direction because I got to make some room for my dust cap. Because if I didn't have a dust cap problem going on with the wheel, I would just fold it over that way on the end of it. But I gotta fix my dust cap. All right, now from handling that thing, I got grease on the rotor. I'm gonna make sure the rotor's nice and clean. Get all my greasy handprints off of it. Looks pretty nice, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Way, way better than it was.
Yeah.
So now it's time to do our pads. And on this thing, I looked at the pads. Whatever you're working on, look at the back of them. See if there's any print on them that distinguishes, like if it's an inner or an outer pad. This thing, it's pretty apparent which is which. And these are, what did we say? These are organic?
Organic.
Yeah, and this being a 73 Dart, I didn't have a ton of options of different pads and rotors for it, but normally there is a ton of options. You can buy good, better, and best. And
yeah, I think the brake best, I think it's Select, and I think they have Select Pro also.
Yeah.
Which I believe is what is on my 70.
Yeah. I'm going to start by putting the outer brake pad on this thing. And on a lot of cars, a lot of brake pads, they'll have these tabs that you have to bend down in order for them to fit tight. Don't get them greasy. Like I put new gloves on, and you don't want to start your brake pad life off with grease on them. But that tab needs to be bent down to where it doesn't rattle around any. So you can usually do it with a hammer. Come on, down there. And then if you go too far, that's a problem. I gotta move it. Vice. Okay.
There you go.
All right, so now with the tabs bent just right on it, it fits nice and tight. The pad doesn't rattle around at all. You can do it on the car too, and I'll show you how in a little bit, but to me, I like to do that because that way I honestly know that it's solid. Okay. This car has got the mystery O-rings, the rubber bands, and nobody ever uses them, but where do they go? They go right here. Okay. And that's all they did. They sat in there like that. You installed them. It was to insulate between the two metal surfaces to keep them from rattling around. But I've never seen anybody use them. And if you did put that on there, they would only last for, you know, how long. So I'm not even going to bother using them. But if you want to, fine.
Yeah. I'll make a bracelet or something.
Yeah, you can make a bracelet.
Yeah.
But that's where they went. And that's the only brake system that I can think of that had those on it. They were pretty strange.
Yeah, usually if there's a anti-rattle thing, it's like a metal clip.
Yeah. So the inner pad is just going to sit right there. Before I do that, I'm going to put some grease, some anti-seize on that guide so it slides nice. And I'm not going to do my normal overdoing things.
Way too much?
Yeah. So that's all it's going to get. And we'll go ahead and we'll put our pad on there. So this is the, oh no, that's the wrong caliper.
Oh no.
Yeah, so you got to pay attention to the bleeder screw. Just set that one over there. Got me, almost got me on that one.
You had trouble bleeding your brakes.
That's right. So this one, I'll do this one on the car. It's not my favorite way, but I'm gonna stick the pad on it. Oh, okay. Gravity pretty much holds that thing still. Also with these, you know what you do with them?
What?
Shoot them at people.
No, don't. Ow. Ow.
So. Most of the times brake calipers come with brand new hardware with them. These did. And I debated on rebuilding them kind of just for fun. And then I got to thinking what fun really is.
Yeah.
So
came to your senses.
Yeah, I did price it though, but by the time I bought hardware and the piston, I knew the pistons would be bad.
Yeah, if that piston hadn't
and
been.
the hardware thing, it was about the same money to just replace the caliper, or to buy a remanufactured caliper like this. And like I said, they got it here for us in a day.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, and the bleeder screw, of course. On this car, the only thing that's different from side to side are the brake calipers. The brake hoses are actually the same from side to side. Because otherwise I probably would have put the brake hose on already. I would have done it first before the caliper. Okay, so if you didn't do the outer pad before you did that, you can take a pry bar and stick it in there. Now, that one's going to be a problem because it's got a hardware right next to it. So I can give it something else to hit. Good. Take the pry bar out. Make sure it's solid. It is. It moves a little bit. We don't want that. If it moves, it'll vibrate and squeak. Use this. Yeah. All right, so that's not moving anymore.
Okay.
So our caliper is installed. Now it's time for a brake hose. There. All right. I wonder how long these hoses have been sitting in a box waiting to be used. Probably the 10 years that the others have been sitting on this thing.
Yeah, really.
So the hose has got it's got a new bolt for the banjo fitting, and then a couple of new copper washers for it to seal it. You can feel kind of when they stop when they're tight. So remember, we freed that thing up. And the reason I did the hose last is because it's going to fit up into the fitting and sit there in a certain way. Make sure it's sitting in the right spot. So I'm going to start the threads. There it goes. Okay. It only sits in that holder one way. So I got to turn it until it finds its spot. Okay. So I get it in there to where it's all the way in. Start my little retainer. Then I finish tightening it up.
Because you don't want it twisted when you're done, right?
Well, yeah. It's a lot easier to start that fitting in the hose when you can wiggle the hose around.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so that's it.
Sweet.
Right. All right, so while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and put a little anti-seize on my lug nuts, or my lugs. They're not nuts, these are lugs.
You're in that.
The other thing too, like, I think it's super important. I torque every wheel that I ever do. And, but these are brand new, and you can't trust that whatever machine put these together has got those wheel studs in there tight. So, like, brand new rotors, brand new wheel studs, absolutely torque them. And so make sure that they're tight. And then after you drive it, of course, I always check them after I put 10, 20 miles on one. That's one thing. But I wanted to show you something else about a brake caliper. Something I forgot to mention. The brake bleeders. That's the other issue with them. Getting one loose. Like if you, say you got one and you're not going to replace the brake caliper, and you put a wrench on it and it doesn't feel like it's going to go. It feels like it's going to slip, or it's going to twist the bleeder screw off, which you don't want to do. This one's pretty tight. It's easier to do when it's on the car like that, but you can take and you put a little bit of pressure on it. Give it a few smacks on the side. And if you can do it while you're putting pressure on it, see, like this one's really stuck. And it's starting to move now, okay? It moved just a little bit. And once it moves just a tiny little bit, at that point you can put some WD-40 on it and then slowly get them to come out. They twist off pretty good because there's a hole in the center of them. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's easier when I don't have to hold it against a bench or a cart to do it. But that's how I'd free that up.
Yeah.
If I had it off the car like this and I was going to rebuild it, I'd just heat it up.
Yeah.
You know, but I would never heat one up when it's on the car.
Yeah. Sweet.
Okay. All right, so this side's almost done. I got to do the right-hand side. It's exactly the same, so I'm going to go and do a warp speed through that thing, and then we'll be right back for some more fun.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. I'm all done. Is that fast enough for you?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got the right side done, the same as the left. All we got to do on this thing is bleed the brakes on the front of it. So we'll do that. I'll have my lovely assistant help me. And it'll also give people an opportunity to see the power plant on this monster. It is a 225 slant 6.
Look at that. My goodness.
It is a powerhouse, but it is actually a good engine though. So I'm not knocking it. They are pretty good. I wish it was a 340, but hey, whatever.
Runs good.
Yep. Okay, here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pedal depressor off of there that I put on when we started this whole thing so the fluid didn't drip out. Now I'm going to open up the bleeder screws. I know the master cylinder's full because I looked at it a little bit ago. And it's full. I'm going to put some tubs under there just in order to catch the brake fluid, even though every square inch of the shop is wet. Missouri has floated away.
Yeah.
Almost. It's been non-stop rain for 2 days. So the bleeder screws are open, my pedal depressor's off, so now we will just wait a little bit for the brake fluid to start dripping out of there. So it's got to fill up the brake calipers.
Yeah, because we've got pretty much air from the line all the way down into the caliper.
Yep.
All of our shiny new parts.
Yeah, a bunch of air in there. And then while it's doing that, I'm going to keep an eye on how much fluid is in it, because that's the portion of the brakes that you absolutely don't want that thing to go empty on brake fluid. And then if you do, you're going to bleed the whole thing. You can almost see it dropping. It's dropping so fast. Can you see it?
Kind of, yeah.
Yep. Yep. All right.
Sweet. Oh, there it goes. Whoops.
Is it dripping?
That one is. Let's see this one.
Is that one dripping?
Not yet.
I'll close this one and then that one will go even faster. The level's dropping in the master cylinder, so it's on its way.
Please. Please. Oh, there it goes. It heard me.
Yep, so you gotta talk to it.
Say nice things to it once in a while.
Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna close it. And Now I'm going to have you jump in the car. I'm going to keep an eye on my brake fluid level all the time, make sure it stays full. That's full.
Yeah. Probably a good time to mention too that brake fluid will take paint off.
Yes, it's not good on paint, and it is also, it's hygroscopic.
Ew.
So it absorbs water molecules, or water molecules are attracted to brake fluid. So, like doing this, I have to have the lid off to do this, but I'm going to, while I do most of it, I'll try to keep it sealed up as much as possible. I definitely wouldn't, if I had left that overnight, it would suck in so much moisture that we'd have to bleed all of it out of there. And then also make sure if you got a jug of it, keep the lid on it tight. Because it doesn't take long, especially like when it's as humid as it is right now, to ruin that brake fluid. And that's also what makes brakes be a problem. Like when they fade, you get moisture that ends up being down in the caliper. It ends up boiling. The moisture ends up boiling. It turns into a gas. Gas is compressible. That's where you get a mushy pedal. And there's not much you can do about it other than bleed your brakes and get some new brake fluid in there. So let's have you jump in the car, and then I'll have you pump it up the way I like.
Okay.
And we'll bleed the fronts, and we'll call it good.
Sweet.
All right, so I'm going to have her pump the brake pedal, but because this thing's a used master cylinder, we're going to only pump it about half the way, like it's normal travel. Because if there's rust or junk at in the back portion of the master cylinder, then I don't want to destroy it. You know, for now, I just want to know that we got good brakes, and then we're going to deal with putting a new master cylinder on it another day, and then we won't worry about that. But for most any of them I do, no matter what, I just push the pedal about, half the travel, as long as I'm not bleeding the entire thing out. Yeah. And then I'll have you pump it up to where you feel a pedal. Okay. And then do what we normally do, okay?
Okie dokie.
All right, so go for it.
Okay.
And I'll start with the right front.
Okie dokie. So, like you said, I'm just going to go kind of normal pedal travel. Don't go all the way to the floor. I'm going to give it like 4 or 5 till you kind of feel it build up. And there you go.
All right, pump it up.
Okay.
Pump it up.
So you can see my foot drop as he opens it there. Okay.
Pump it up.
And it's not a ton of pressure. There you go. Just enough that you're forcing fluid through and not letting air back.
All right, the driver's side, pump it up.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, pump it up. All right, that should be good.
Sweet, that feels good.
All right.
Also, this is the nicest interior we own. Look at that. One little spot in the back seat there.
So through that whole process, while she was pumping them up and I was bleeding them, then I was checking to make sure my fluid levels stayed up. And it did. I topped it off once while you were doing that, but just right after you pumped it up the initial time is all. So make sure you seal it back up then. Put the cap on, you're good. If you did drip brake fluid on anything else, on anything in there, or especially on your paint or whatever, wash it off with soap and water quickly. It takes clear coat off real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it for the front brakes.
Sweet. All right, so I know there's a ton of information in this video, but the most important piece of advice that we can give you is to use high quality brake parts.
That's right. Doing this job made me remember why I wanted to start my own shop in the first place. I was in a situation in a shop that I worked at. We were used to using high quality parts, and then one day they decided to go cheap and make us start using something else. It doesn't work very well. There's no way that I could do a job that I was proud of and send it out the door confident and know that it wasn't going to come back for some silly reason. So when it comes to brakes, putting high quality parts on it is by far the most important thing. It'll make the job go easier. It'll make the brakes last longer, aside from working correctly, okay?
Yep.
So that being said, on this car, I bought the highest quality set that O'Reilly's had for it. They've got a deal going on right now. It's ending June 23rd, I think. But if you buy 2 rotors, you get the pads free. So that saved me a bunch of money.
Yes.
So take advantage of that the way I did.
Yep. We're super excited to get this Dart back on the road. Wanted to give a big thank you to O'Reilly Auto Parts for being a part of this project. We appreciate you guys watching, and we will catch you next time. And we forgot to mention, we have new shirts available. If you're a fan of our wiring videos, you've probably heard Hope before. We got a cool new design. I hope you guys go check it out. Grab yourself something nice. We appreciate your support.